Attention gamers. It's no secret that Urgot is one of the deadliest champs late game in League of Legends. Somehow every game this seemingly slow friendly waddling ACL popping crab turns into a horrifying raid boss, unkillable demon seaman spawn of the Loch Ness monster, and Satan himself fornicating in the Bermuda Triangle. And because of this you see him wreaking havoc everywhere, on streams, in pro play, on top of tier lists, in movies, and the only thing you can do when you see him is run away. But for every champ that feels OP in the hands of an experienced fully coherent player, there are thousands of low elo overgrown sperm cells lowering his win rate down to levels that make the devs think he is balanced. By doing things like refusing to toggle off your W to escape because kneecap busting is just too fun. Never saying no to an opportunity for a forced game of leapfrog even if it lands you under a ticked off tower. Using your ult for the sole purpose of stealing kills because you can't land it when it actually matters. Or sometimes the syndrome gets so bad you just start stacking failures on top of each other, making both your allies and enemies question if there's even a human controlling your keyboard or if it's just some experiment where they test if chimps can play video games. So today you'll see some Urgot Syndrome, the crusty crab with no cells up in his dome, he whose screen is constantly monochrome. But busting these knees, feeding all of the G's to the stacking doggies, because this Mr. Waternoose was born with a missing chromosome. Your hopes of winning start to fade, you wonder why you even played. Queuing ranked was the worst decision you have made, so you just lean back, pull the phone out and download Raid. That's Raidy Shady Legends, yo, the game you play on the go. Cause on your PC or phone, you can make your army grow. By collecting champions with graphics that make you say whoa. You can crush campaigns that set the theme, or collect new champs to build that dream team. Daily login rewards are waiting for you to redeem. And if you didn't think this rap would turn into a raid ad, I just want to say, but I'm not here to get you rickrolled, I'm here to prove that this game is gold, so I will just repeat what you've already been told. Its gameplay is addicting, contagious, like a common cold. And fresh new updates are on the way, dank new champs you soon can play. Not to mention there's a second version of the new Doom Tower, with dark dragons and griffins added as more bosses to slay. So use my link below, or scan this rad QR code to get Raidy Shady a thick download, and in return you'll get silver gem shards and a free champ that will make the early game missions feel like you're playing Raid on easy mode.
Raid Shadow Legends.
Okay, so I feel the need to address the elephant in the room before people start appearing in the comments confused like human cocoons popping out of their mommies' beef curtains only to see a nocturne support. But I want to assure you this was intentional, because there is just something aggressively appetizing about turning the lights off and playing a very one-sided game of dodgeball. So that's what Rav was up to in his Dexter's Laboratory onesie while playing tonight. And I don't know if you noticed, but early game a blonde shooting figments of light out of her baton squad prop is no match for a weaponized bloody fart cloud, so she dies a fiery death, and then I run up and press F to pay respects, which also unironically heals the Project Gotham crab claw just enough to prevent Jinx from snorting some drug dust off his dead balls as we secure the double. And speaking of crabs, we have today's protagonist on the noble quest to prove that a tasered squirrel that got held back in kindergarten can successfully play League of Legends, and that's why you see this obese old beast doing a Pilates routine with all the torso rotating, as this deficient spider is entirely too comfortable being low and overextended. So to absolutely no one's surprise, the GMO dog slips him a few roofies to calm him down, because soldiers from the 14th century typically startle the thing, and after a bit of struggle, he gets put down. Then straight back to Mr. Waternoose, and turns out his 6th birthday came before that Martian mutt, so he gives a cannon minion the cold shoulder in lieu of rubbing an aged diff. But mistakes were made, and it turns out forcing a well-trained dog to play leapfrog really sets off its temper, as the thing swells up like a tampon in a puddle before Mr. Krabs tries to jump over a wall that was just a tad bit bigger than he expected. Anyways, the theme of boys/weaponized smoke clouds rule girls drool continues bot lane, as my support gives her a taste of long-range morning breath, and then it's on me to deploy the world's longest fruit roll-up to finish the job. This leaves that fickle gun slut all alone under tower, and you know what the rule of 3 is in this situation, right? Neither do I, and so I just shout 4 in her dumb little face, and then I would love to continue coverage of what ended up happening down here, but there was an important development up north that I had to switch over to. You see, Mr. Dramatic Knee Arthritis was still under the impression that hanging out behind the little red choir kids was smart, despite the fact that this dog can go through 9 years of puberty at the press of one button, which includes all the hormones and emotions and bubble bath staff whacking that you would assume comes with it. Pan back to me in the midst of an odd dream. Charizard was there as well as a lot of people who wanted me dead, but then all I remember is the lights going out and some pocket-sized Conan O'Brien whipping firecrackers at me, so survival instincts kicked in and I put the hype in snipe before shooting a few blanks into the trees and firing off a fuck it 4 at the star whore. And it is no secret that this crab is not cut out to be a cartographer, as his map might as well be naked and flashing him the hoo-ha because he ain't looking so, despite a successful rotation around He Who Says Rough, to bust every last ACL, and sure enough doofus douche schnozzle dies again. Meanwhile bot we have their Jinx glowing like an inflamed artery in a Pepto-Bismol commercial, so we shut the lights off and I start pelting long boys at the blind Bettys before my support decides he wants his name listed first on the killer list, and so I just remain the unappreciated wingman by stopping Blondie from pursuing revenge like a hall monitor who also subsequently wanted the bitch dead, so she becomes the second argument for why their surveillance system statue is ineffective. Then this Urgot is like, solo kill me because I'm a boosted shit stain once, shame on me. But let me poke you down just enough to make me think you won't solo kill me because I'm a boosted shit stain twice. Shame on Rav for still playing this piss pit of a game when he is magnetic to getting inbred sea monkeys like me on his team. With that said, there is quite the crowd forming bot lane, but I'm not vaccinated yet because I guess creepy counting opera sing boys aren't until group 1C, so I keep my distance as we all gather around for the nighttime hula hooping performance, and it's safe to say it knocked at least one person dead. This leaves the chick whipping bath bombs at us in a bad spot, so I run up and caress my keys in a sequence that results in acute homicide before serving my sentence in her circle cell while spectating her butt buddy fall victim to a killer carbon dioxide cloud. But we weren't done yet. You see, the very next play, right after a flash slipped out like some bad gas after taco night, I cream pied the tower while staring at the blonde provocatively until she goes, Simon says show a long thin projectile, but turns out Simon's a dead bitch. And it was also worth noting that this was when I was first-hand made aware of the repetitive arthritis amphibian genocide that was occurring up north thus far into the game. But you can't dwell on the bad things like my mid laner's hula hoop being defective or anything, and besides I was really happy with my relationship thus far with the pale Jar Jar Binks. She was always down to get fucked. That said, this crab with cankles was jerking off a little too close to a church trying to get the back line of his kneecaps busted, and sure enough mispositioning is always followed by disappointment as the elementary school dropout keeps W toggled, which was about as dumb as Vin Diesel keeping the parking brake on during a car chase. So no, he wasn't fast, but I was indeed furious. And I guess this bronze butt muncher took the quote on the back of his Cheerios box about mistakes making you stronger a bit too literally this morning, because I swear I could see him flexing in the fountain after every time he died. Anyways, Conan was all alone bot again, so we all run over with hopes of hearing Rift Alexa say our name as I prove why I will die alone stuck in silver before he Austin powers himself to avoid being present during Hiroshima, and then he thaws and goes out with a smoky bang. Now here is a riddle for you. How many Fed players does it take to kill one Nasus who has been the sole beneficiary of our team having an Urgot Syndrome? If you guessed 4, then you were right, for now. And a minute later he once again finds himself on the wrong side of whatever the shit he was doing, but by some divine intervention they let him live at the last second, and at this point I'm like, dude, freaking go home, hire a hooker, stick that horrifyingly chode crabcock in a cheap fish purse, celebrate the fact that you have been given a second chance at living, but no, this masochistic moron was determined to find a way, like the Elon fucking Musk of dying, to let this Nasus get yet another free kill on him. It was just uncanny the appetite this asshat had for taking up the a-hole. As you see, I come in trying to peacefully mediate the conflict before deeming it a total lost cause. So naturally they are having a cool kids only cream pie the cum covered dragon party, but we still had control over the light switches, and after a rather dramatic pause as I tried to remember what came after one, we managed to steal the dragon hallelujah, except they didn't really need buffs at this point when you could see the crab leg butter shit stains they all had on their clothes from the all you can eat buffet they attended all game, so I quickly find myself in a raft predicament. Outnumbered, out of position, and out of people to blame for why I am here, but like a call me damn near Kog'Maw, I take out half their team from the grave. And as seen in the intro, this embarrassing play was sponsored by this week's free champion rotation, as the following footage is almost certainly something this guy's best man will be showing at his wedding, one day when he marries his fleshlight doll. But honestly, I gotta give it to him. Being able to laugh at yourself alongside the over 100,000 people that are laughing at you right now is a good quality, so if you are watching this, man, nothing but respect. That said, there's a reason why I made my support play the poking pollution, and that's because duck hunting is so much more fun when all the ducks have blindfolds on, as I hit the hat trick on Conan for the kill. And great news, Urban Dictionary called this nocturne up and told him that one of his images could be placed next to the word YOLO, so he needed to get to work, as I deemed the fourth to be the perfect one to end the Jarvan family line. Then taking objectives or backing off would have been the play here, but one thing led to another and it was just me and Fish Tits here running away from the space Nazi that could Q Baron for half its damn health at this point. So despite me and today's idiot hopelessly working together to keep each other alive like two poodles trying to solve a Rubik's Cube, I die, and then as is tradition, he sidesteps a total of 0 abilities and follows suit. But hey, eventually this blue bald busted kneecap cretin of discount cum did get himself a kill, even if it was blatantly stolen, and to that the dumbass said dilly dilly and celebrated by immediately going off and rubbing one out in the shrubs like he gets off to being overextended. And sure enough, Galaxy Gary was down for more free food. But you gotta give it to this Urgot, he was just determined to put up a fight and stay alive until as many people as possible were around to collect their KP. And in the next fight I decide to display my double-digit IQ by dashing into danger only to melee range, one of the longest abilities in the game, and Flash wondering how 1Q took off 30 years of my life, but this allowed me to zoom way out and thread the needle to secure a second kill before deeming it a good time to peace out before that tomahawking troglodyte could touch me again. And what's the deal with feeding players having the confidence of an NFL running back more hung than a show horse guest speaking at a Losers Anonymous meeting? Like Jesus man, it's an illness with these players. It just started to feel like you were teaching your 6-year-old daughter how to read with the newspaper obituary, just continuously reading the same exact line till she got it. Urgot died of stupidity, Urgot died of stupidity, Urgot died of stupidity. So despite us getting one more firm ass tap on Chode Conan, eventually a Nasus worthy of being in a bunny foo-foo video is going to make winning impossible, and that, my friends, is Urgot Syndrome. Like and subscribe if you enjoyed, or you will get teammates like this in your games. Rav out.
Don't fuck with Rabby boy, I'm in your crib with the blappy boy. Talk to me slick and I'm popping your pappy. If happy talk back, then I'm taking your Grammy, and boy oh boy I'll make her happy. Let's go.